was conflict of interest. It became necessary to create a new system that would cost 104 billion Kenya shillings, which was really unnecessary because experts have told us that it was possible to reform and improve the previous system of NHIF at a cost of about 800 million shillings. If that had been done and the initial plan was followed through, it would have meant that Kenyans would pay 300 shillings to cover the whole family. As it is, that is not the case. So there has been a lot of problems out. It was rushed, and as it is today, many patients across the country are having problem getting their bills sorted out in hospital. So the idea was very good. The promise was apt, but the implementation has been very, very wanting.
I don't know why His Excellency is breaking.
Like I am of the opinion that we could still go back to factory settings. We could still go back to factory settings, stick to the original plan of improving the NHIF to make it more useful, to make it more affordable, to make it more friendly. And again, we want to urge that when people express themselves and give their opinion as to what they feel about a new program, it is not necessary to say that it is wrong. You know, we can just listen to what people are saying and agree to be corrected where we are wrong, agree to take criticism where it is not working, take those divergent opinions as a strength, incorporate them in the initial idea, and have an improvement of the health program as envisaged in the manifesto.
Okay, well answered. Now, you have clarified that SHA is not delivering the services as required. And I'm sorry, your network was breaking up when you were answering the question. So just to clarify, now that the reality check on ground is that SHA has failed the mass, the question is, with the new administration that you are planning on putting together, will you completely do away with a SHA, or will you rectify it and then sustain it? Now, we have to put into account that all these steps, whichever step that you take, it will incur more expenses. Please, you have about 30 seconds, answer this question.
I think good governance is about listening to the people and taking their input as part of the solution. I don't think doing away with something entirely is the correct thing to do. What is important is to receive the views of all stakeholders, mostly the patients, the doctors, the nurses, the people in the health sector, and the Kenyans themselves. And once that has been done, you will incorporate what they think should be done to improve the program. So I think the most important thing is a commitment to listen to the people, to listen to the stakeholders, and incorporate their views and their suggestions.
Thank you very much. The other question was a concern that the NHIF, there are people who had paid into it quite a large sum of money, and somehow the money disappeared when it came to be transferred to SHA. Are you planning on putting that into account, depending on whatever kind of step you're going to take? And also, if SHA does not work at all, and people don't want it because it's not delivering, and we don't know exactly who owns this SHA, what is the next alternative that you have for the mass? Bearing in mind that healthcare is one of the key elements in a society.
In fact, it is true that very serious monies had been paid to NHIF, and nobody thought it necessary or bothered to tell the stakeholders, those who had paid money to NHIF, what happened to their money. If you look at faith-based institutions, the hospitals owned by the Catholic Church, by the PCA Church, and other churches, they owed billions of shillings that was in the former program. But the SHA was just introduced. without any consideration, without listening to these people and taking time to explain to them what happened to those monies. There are so many people who had contributed money and the government is silent about it. At any one time, people raise that matter. They are being accused of being critical, of being insensitive, of fighting the government. Yet that is not the case. The case is people want to know what happened to these monies. So I think that is a serious concern. And in the fullness of time, that is a matter that cannot be wished away. And if the current administration cannot
let me understand. What's happening? Who is this that is managing? Who's doing this? Mary, can we get things back to where we're supposed to be? I'm sorry.
I think there's a lot of interference by the state.
Who is this? I don't think moderators. We are not doing things right.
Mugo, kindly apologies for that. Mugo, can you expand the guest, because somebody just did whatever they did and muted the guest. Is honorable, so kindly do that for us. It's not me. Somebody did it,
and that's why I would appreciate so much. Please, moderators, let's do what is right. Oh my God. Okay.
So do we have His Excellence with us?
Yeah, he's with us. He's muted. Let me see why.
kindly unmute the Excellency. We are not able to do that from our side. Maybe the host can help. Yes, I've tried as much as I can. Even the camera, it's not able. So I don't know what happened. Yes.
They will be up in 43 seconds. In 43 seconds, he will be able to be back. In 23 seconds, can I have, unfortunately, I will make an honest request. Can I have all the moderators off? Let me only have Githaiga and Masi here. The moderator and Priscilla, those who are up here. Kindly manage yourselves. Okay. The camera will be back. In the meantime, His Excellency, you can be talking to us.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think there's some bit of interference. I don't know from
Yes,
where.
yes. There's some bit of interference, but we are truly going to take care of that.
Yeah. I think these people don't want us to talk to the people of Kenya.
And I can assure you we'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
I will assure you we will be able to do that.
But if I can be heard, we can still continue the questions as you are sorting out the images.
Yes, please do.
Let us have more questions.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was muted there. I couldn't unmute myself, but I'm hoping nothing interferes some more. So we're done with the healthcare. And in case you have a personal question that you'd like to ask or a question that relates to general population, you'll wait for the open session and you can ask anything to do with health. And now, right on, moving to the social welfare on affordable housing. And the question is, when it comes to affordable housing, this fund is claimed from government employees. How do these government employees benefit from that, while we know that most of them already have built their houses up country or elsewhere? What is there for them to benefit? 30 seconds, please.
I along the way did inform President William Ruto that listen to the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya did not think that the affordable housing program is a priority.
Okay, please, let's just, His Excellency, let's just hold on there. And the 4.2 people, okay, we are back. We are not back. Somebody have tried to interfere with the settings. And I'm sorry, if you're one of our moderators who probably is doing this, I feel I don't want to be the bad boy, but we'll definitely have to wish you that we will be back. Continue, His Excellency. Continue. We can hear you. Oh, it's mute. Hey. Okay, let me hope whoever is doing this can... Mary, okay.
Host, please, I see the comment section asking you to remove the timer against your settings, please.
Not me. Somebody just put the timer. That's why I'm having a problem with the same. Somebody put the timer.
Okay. Okay. So should we please repeat the question? Yes, please.
Yes, I am saying that in my view and the view of the majority of the people of Kenya, 98% of the Kenyan population, the affordable housing program is not a priority for the people of Kenya. Housing is a private sector initiative. We should leave people to put up their own houses. We should spend all our resources in putting up the necessary infrastructure, creating roads, water, electricity, sewage, and then people can put up houses for themselves. We do remember Mwai Kibaki, the third president of the Republic of Kenya, opened up the bypasses, put roads, water, electricity, and sewage, and the houses came up on their own. It's a private sector initiative. So going forward, this is something that people of Kenya at the right time will have to review, whether you really need to tax people to put up houses that have nothing to do with you. Again, when you look at it, these houses are put up on government land using taxes collected from the people, and then the houses are sold to private people. So you wonder where is the benefit to the public. Those are some of the issues I really had a problem in government by having a divergent opinion and saying that in my own view, the affordable housing program is not a priority for Kenya. It should be left to the private sector.
CS, are you there? I'm trying to manage the timer. Whoever, moderator, okay?
Yes, please. If the moderators could just leave my microphone on, that would be great, so
Yes.
that we don't keep on going back and forth in that way. And please, Gedaiga, if you could help us remove that timer, that would be really great. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We've had your stand as far as that is concerned. Now let's go back to the employees who are paying this money, towards this fund on an every day basis, because every time they work, the fund is subtracted. Now, in the new administration, can the employees opt out from this contributions?
I think a new administration in Kenya will have a discussion with the people of Kenya, and a new administration will be people sensitive. It will be an administration that listens to the people of Kenya. You cannot force the people of Kenya on a program if they are not interested. You know, many a time I discuss with the President William Ruto, and he will insist that you don't have to do what is popular, you do what is right. And my answer to him many a time was that we govern people. And if the majority of people think what we are doing is not right, you cannot insist that is the right thing to do. So this is something I am sure the people of Kenya, 98% are against the housing program. With a new administration, I don't think that program will be able to continue because it's really not a priority. It's a very personal thing. You put up your own house depending on your own needs. People want other services from government. They want roads, they want water, they want electricity, they want sewage, they want security, they want a good environment for doing business.
Excellent. So could you also speak to the fact that we are aware that the houses have already been put up, and of course it will be very uneconomical for the new administration to bring them down. Now, there is a down payment of about 250,000 Kenya shillings if somebody has to occupy that house. This clearly beats reason to a mama fua or a person that is working for very little money per day. Could you please speak to the mass and tell us how you are going to help that those houses, if they are going to actually help those the one meant for, and how your new government will actually look into this, that the mama fua, mama mboga will be the person to benefit from those houses and not the rich. Because as far as we have said, we cannot bring those houses down, but we'll sit down and discuss the way forward, and it seems that the houses will be occupied anyway. So please, could you speak to that to us as far as that is concerned? I think you are muted, please. We cannot hear you. Your Excellency, your mic is muted. Could you unmute it? Your Excellency, your mic, kindly unmute it. So then this will work better for us and more efficient.
Wow, somebody is interfering with the live as much as it's a little bit unfortunate, and I hope nobody is being used here to
Host, the challenges we are having, are we able to work on them, or can we take the next alternative?
we should be able to work on them, because there's no way we will allow. I mean, we cannot let
Host, I think the blame is not on moderators. There is external interference on all this, the time and everything. We're trying as much as we can. It's not the moderators. There is external interference. So I would wish if the Excellency got minutes to talk, we let him talk exhaustively, because I believe somebody somewhere is trying to sabotage the session, trying to make sure the session does not go through, because it's not on the option of moderators. I'm trying as much as I can. So we can just go on. Everything is right for now. Please, moderators, don't mute any of the guests' microphone, because once you mute, we are not able to go live, including myself. So kindly don't mute His Excellency's microphone or the CS's microphone. Thank you very much. Let's continue, host.
Thank you very much, Githaiga. You are doing a great job to try and uphold that. So please, Your Excellency, could you go ahead?
Yes, definitely there is external interference, and that's what is happening in this country. There is a very great effort to make sure that people do not know the truth, and that is why there is external interference to make sure that we don't talk to the people, but we just soldier on in spite of the difficulties. I was saying it will be responsible for any government to bring down houses. What we shall do, and I think any new administration will do, is make sure that the houses that have already been put up are made available to those who can afford them. And then from there, we can be able to spend all resources to put up an infrastructure, to give services to the people. And then we can leave the private sector to deal with the issue of the housing program. That, in my view, is what is feasible.
Thank you very much. I will proceed on and ask about the finance bill. In 2023, the finance bill fell through. In that finance bill, there are government projects that were supposed to be going on to this day. But at the moment, they've all stalled. Now, we have examples of the Mau Road and Karimeru Dam that have stalled. In the new administration, what are the plans that you have put in place to jumpstart these stalled projects? 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much. I think, in my view, as an administration, we should have focused more on completion of ongoing projects other than starting new projects and coming up with things that really are not a priority, like the affordable housing program. We had very many projects that were started by the fourth administration, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Mau roads, the dams that you have mentioned, and in my view, that should have been a priority. Again, we do have pending bills, almost 900 billion Kenya shillings, and that is why contractors have abandoned site. That is why the projects have stalled, because the contractors are not able to go on without payment. We should have given that as priority, to pay pending bills to people who have given services to government contractors who have put up projects. We pay them so that they can complete the projects. Again, you know that many people are having a lot of difficulty because of the pending bills. Many people have their homes auctioned, they have their business auctioned, and that is why, because of the absence of the 900 billion in circulation, there is no money that is circulating in the economy. So again, an administration that I will be part of will give priority to settlement of pending bills and completion of all projects that are going on before we can embark on new projects.
Great. Well answered. Now, could you touch a little bit on how your government is planning on funding this project, bearing in mind that right now there is just so much taxing against a mass of people, and we are feeling the pain in every corner. The new administration, what steps are you going to take so that this pain is not so excruciating against the pockets of the general population?
I don't think overtaxing people is really the way to build a country. Taxation is a way of raising revenue and is accepted all over the world, but it has to be done in a way that you don't kill the productivity. Today, if you go to the streets of Nairobi, you go to Nyamakema, you go to Taveta, you go to all shops that were very busy have been shut down. In Nyamakema, where goodwill was between 20 to 25 million shillings, today the shops are closed, and if you want a shop space there, you are not asked for any goodwill. You are to take this shop and pay whatever rent you are able to. We don't want
Your Excellency, we are losing you once more.
tax people. Avoid unnecessary taxation like the housing levy. That is something a new administration would have to do away with, and that will give a relief to the taxpayers, because it is not necessary. You just tax people where you need to, on things that are necessary, things that are really a priority to the people of this country. So I think we would have a responsible tax regime where you tax people for what is necessary and what is a priority. And then you make sure there is a prudent use of those taxes, where what you have collected from the people, you use it in a responsible manner for the benefit of the people.
Okay. Thank you so very much for those questions. Now we are going to move on to the Labor Department. And the question for the Labor that we have for you is this. During the campaign, which you campaigned well and successfully, the youth asked the government to create jobs within Kenya, the Kenyan government, by building manufacturing units where the youths could actually work. Instead, the government chose to look for jobs out of the country in places such as the Middle East. From the feedback that we are getting from the ground, there seems to be no rules laid down on how the Kenyan citizens that go to work in the Gulf are to be treated. Neither is there a very clear way on how the people working in the Gulf can be returned home in case of emergencies. Now, this comes across as systemic human trafficking, bearing in mind that sometimes the living conditions are not that excellent for a human being. So in this case, could you please speak for this systemic human trafficking, or rather what we would call, or what comes across as modern day slavery?
I am of the opinion that we need to encourage our young people to work here, first and foremost, by criminalizing enterprise. We have necessary resources here in this country. And if we allow business to thrive, our young people will gainfully employed. I agree with you. We have a program of labor migration where we are taking people to the Middle East. And as you know previously, the people who have found their ways to those countries have been mistreated, and it has not been a very rosy picture. And I am not aware of any program that has been put in place to make sure that our people don't get enslaved. I am of the opinion that we need to invest much more here in the country. We need to encourage manufacturing here in the country. We need to encourage agriculture in terms of horticulture and other agribusiness, where even our young people can be involved in agribusiness. I think we have enough resources in this country. We have enough enterprise in this country that can absorb our young people without having to send them out there. We don't mind a few people who can get work outside there, but that should not be a government policy, really.
Continue, yes.
Yes, Your Excellence is talking, but I can't hear him clearly from here. He's either muted.
Our government policy should not. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? We
Yes,
have
I can
enough
hear you.
opportunities in the country to absorb our young population. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for confirming that is your stand on the labor immigration. But right now, we do have quite a number of people in the Gulf areas that are working there. They are our mothers, our sisters, and reasonable citizens of this country. What should we expect from the new administration as far as their livelihood is concerned? Are you planning on bringing them back for those who want to come back? Are you planning on laying out rules with those governments on how they should be treated? Could you please speak on that too?
I don't think we need to bring back home anybody who has found an opportunity to earn a living out of the country. I think that would be insensitive. What we need to do is to engage the other countries, government to government, to come up with guidelines on how Kenyans are treated in the countries that they have gone to work to. And then we empower our missions abroad, our embassies and our high commissions to have a very deliberate program to monitor, to visit how our people are being treated, in terms of consular services. so that we have staff at the embassy going to visit homes, going to visit factories, going to visit establishments, and engaging the people of Kenya who are working in those particular countries to find out how they are being treated. But I am of the view that we should have government to government agreed guidelines on how people of Kenya working in a foreign country should be treated, and then our embassy staff can follow up to make sure that that is being done.
Thank you very much, and that is very encouraging for us who are in the diaspora, Australia, North America, the Gulf area, which always seems to be sidelined, and various places outside of the country, to know that your government is actually thinking of looking into that matter when we are outside of the country. Now, there is a question that also came up, that the current government, which you campaigned once more successfully, was said to be serikali ya mama mboga. The new administration you are advocating for, ni ya kina nani?
Well, it is true we campaigned for this government that is in place today to be a government of the lowly, the mama mboga, the boda boda, and unfortunately, that is why I had problems in government and eventually I had to leave, is that we lost focus, and the people we promised would be the first priority in our government ceased to be. And I don't want to say that a new administration will be for mama mboga or boda boda. What I know and what I believe in, we will have an administration that listens to the people, because the key to governance is to carry the people along, is to listen to them, is to appreciate their aspirations, is to appreciate their challenges, is to allow them how they want to be governed, is to listen to them and respond to them positively, because at the end of it all, the sovereignty of this country is exercised by the people. So the central theme of any governance is the people themselves. So an administration that I look forward to is an administration that will be people-centered. It's an administration that will never shout back at the people. It's an administration that will never accuse the people of being too critical. It's an administration that will always engage the people and take what they are saying seriously, embrace it, and address the issues that the people are raising. So I look forward to an administration that is people-centered.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. These are questions that had been compiled, and we are just about to start wrapping them up here. And they are in the general population. So there are questions that have been put together. And there will be another session that will be open, and everybody can participate in this one. But this particular one looks out for the general population, and our Excellency is doing very well at answering those questions. And now we would like him to speak on the current economy that is upholding very high taxes against individuals. How will your new administration bring a balance, strike a balance, an optimal balance of tax rates in the country?
I think the most important thing to fix the economy is to avoid lofty spending and doing unnecessary projects. It is really to focus on a few things that are important to the people of Kenya: the health sector, the education sector, fixing our roads, water for irrigation, making sure that people are secure, and avoiding a lot of projects that are not necessary, like the affordable housing. And once you agree that you want to address the basics, you will have to cut down on the taxation so that you don't have to overtax the people. And the people of Kenya are good people, and they are willing to pay taxes, but they also want to see their taxes being well used. You know? If you look at the way we are spending money today in this country, for example, the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, billions of shillings were spent from government resources on a truly unnecessary exercise. You don't have to spend public resources for such a thing. I have seen meetings being held and people are being given 500 shillings to attend public rallies to be addressed by the president. That is really waste of public resources. It is really unnecessary. And I believe that if an administration focuses on what is important, making sure that our hospitals are working, there are drugs, there are doctors, there are nurses, that is good. If you spend money on fixing roads to make sure that people are able to get where they are going, people are able to get their produce and take it to the market, that is good. If you are able to make sure that the country is secure, you spend money on security, that is good. And that is what we look forward to, spending money on things that are important so that we don't have to overtax the people to embark on projects that are really not necessary. That will be our focus, to make sure that we are collecting taxes that are reasonable and those taxes are being applied to programs that have a benefit to the people.
Excellent. Change is good, but we cannot usher change when we have people, the same people with the same mindset, working and rotating in the same government position over and over. Now, in the new administration that you're putting together, how will you address this issue so that we can see new people with new mindset occupying these places so that we can transition towards newness and progressiveness in your government?
I think that is really a decision that the people of Kenya have made. The people of Kenya are having fatigue on recycling the same old faces. And when I listen, the Gen Z phenomenon is a real game changer in this country. And I can see as we go towards 2027, there is going to be a serious revolution in terms of leadership. I have here in my rural residence met young people who are seeking elective positions, who are very revolutionary, who are looking at things in a different perspective. And I can tell you that our young people are going to determine the next administration. And from what I gather as I interact with them and I interact with other Kenyans, there is a new beginning in this country where we are going to have a new leadership of young people, focused people, people with a different mindset. And I can tell you, I am very hopeful that we'll have different kind of leaders that are going to come up. And those are the people who are going to make the real change that we need in this country.
Very well. Now we move swiftly to education, and we are going to focus more on higher education. What plan is in place to make higher education affordable? Let's bring one case scenario. A student in engineering has to pay 150,000 Kenya shillings per year. This is exclusive of any other bills, a place to stay, food, clothing, books, and everything else that they may require. Now, 150,000 is not something, is not an amount of money that a Mama Mboga would actually afford. And now we are questioning whether there are certain faculties that are reserved for the affluent communities in our societies, while not everybody can be able to access them, even when they have the grades. Now, how will you make education, higher education, more affordable for the people in the new administration?
I think we had a good financing model, and the Higher Education Laws Board helped, and it was working well. And without applying our mind to the merits and the demerits, this administration decided to do away with it and introduce a new financing model without consulting anybody, without consulting the students, the parents, the lecturers, and the stakeholders in the higher education component. I think what is important is exhaustive consultation among the stakeholders. I am a firm believer that any responsible government must make education affordable. And if you look at our dispensation, we have various bursaries. We have bursaries by the county government, we have bursaries by the CDF, we have bursaries by the Ministry of Education. I am of the view that we need to collapse all these bursaries into one, and we can channel them directly to the people who are needing. And this money is quite sufficient. It's a lot of money. If you look at the money that is sent through the CDF, if you look at the bursaries that the counties are giving, if you look at what the Ministry of Education is giving, since this money is coming from one source, but going through different channels, we need to collapse all these bursaries into one. And then from a central point of view, we will be able to help students from needy families. And I think that can work. As it is today, we have a problem because we changed the old financing model without thinking through the new one, and it's not working. Many university students are at home. They cannot go to college. And we are having a very difficult situation as a country. So because we have a long way to create a new administration, mine is to ask the current administration to find it necessary to listen to the stakeholders, to listen to the students, to listen to the lecturers, to listen to the parents, and agree that we need to look at what was proposed because it is not working. Either we revert to the old system or we come up with something much better. But we cannot do that just sitting in Nairobi in government offices. This has to be done in a consultative manner by engaging the stakeholders. Again, people-centered. You must talk to the people. These students are the beneficiaries. The parents are the ones who are paying for them. Any new financing model without talking to the beneficiaries, without talking to the parents, is an exercise in futility. And it costs the government nothing to engage the people, to listen to them, and to listen to what they have to say. And Kenyans are very innovative. People have solutions to all these problems. All you need to do is to create an opportunity for them to contribute, to make suggestions. Let us agree, listen to the students, listen to the lecturers, listen to the parents, and together we can come up with a good financing model for university education.
Thank you very much. That was a question that had been asked by the mass. As I have said, my work here is actually to present the questions from general population that had been compiled and the mass felt are important for you to answer. And we are remaining about 2 questions, and then we can open up the forum for the next section. Now, on education, still, we have people with special needs. That's persons with disabilities. And there's a cry out that there are so many bills that have been added against their tuition slips, and they're not able to meet these needs. What can you say as far as the sustainability of the persons with disabilities education?
I think the hallmark of a good government is how it treats the disadvantaged people in society. All over the world, people with disabilities are the challenge of the state. You know, any government anywhere in the world has a responsibility to people who have challenges, people who are impaired, people who have challenges here and there, the elderly people, and those with who are having challenges. I think it is only fair that we come up with a very comprehensive program on how to treat and take care of our PWDs, because it's important that we do that as a country, as a people, as a nation. And that happens all over the world. Again, it's the same for the elderly, the senior citizens of any country. We must always think about how to take care of their medical needs, how to take care of them in old age. And that is really a service, because those are not people who are able to gainfully be employed or able to meet their challenges. And that is something that those of us who are putting up an administration that we think can be responsible for good governance and for improving the lives of our people, is something that we are really putting our mind to. And ahead along the way, as we put up our manifesto, as we go away, we'll have a very, very clear chapter on how to treat our PWDs.
Excellent. So in this case, are we expecting to see representatives of the groups of people that have special needs on the table when it comes to discussions? Because we expect to see the roads accommodating them, accommodating the blind, accommodating the hard of hearing. We expect to hear the education system also providing brailles and all that they need, wheelchairs at an affordable price. Are we hearing from you that we are going to have people with disabilities at the table during discussions?
Yes, that is a promise that I want to make, that one of the ways to address these problems is to have people with special needs to be on the decision-making table, to be part of the governance structure, so that they are able to present the needs of those that they lead. So one of the ways to address the problem of people with special needs is to make them part and parcel of the governance structure, to be on the decision-making table, and to be part of the decision-making process. So we intend along the way, from day one, to have people with special needs to be part of our team, so that they are represented, so that once they are there on the decision-making table, the issues, the aspirations of people with special needs are well represented and articulated.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Your Excellence. And now we come to the final question that has to do with security. The current security in the country is wanting. Case in point is where abductions of the outspoken have been experienced, have happened. How is the new government planning on remedying the current situations, the insecurities in the country? How will you get the trust back from the mass as far as security is concerned?
I think a government that can not secure its people has no business being in government. It's a cardinal responsibility of any government all over the world. The first responsibility of the government is to secure the people. When the government turns against its own, it's a very sorry state of affairs. What we are seeing today in Kenya is unprecedented, and it's very, very, very unfortunate, where state agencies have turned against the citizens. And it's even more annoying that the people who have been targeted are our children, the young people, by the state for abductions, for extrajudicial killings. As Deputy President, on the 26th of June last year, I called a press conference in Mombasa just after the president had spoken and condemned abductions and extrajudicial killings. You have seen our minister, our cabinet secretary for public service, Dr. Justin Gideon Muturi, giving an account of how his own son was abducted by members of the National Intelligence Service, and was only released after the president intervened. And then you are wondering what happens to those who cannot access the president. I think this administration has sunk very low. That is something that has not been done. Even in terms of repression during the colonial times, the British colonialists never went for children and women. But we have seen an administration that is really going for children, abducting them, mistreating them, punishing them, persecuting them. This is really, really very low, and I want to condemn in the strongest terms possible the insecurity that's going on in the country. And it's unfortunate that the same insecurity is being perpetuated by the state that is supposed to take care of people's security. You have seen the emergence of criminal gangs that terrorized people in this country in the 90s. Here in the Mount Kenya region and in Nairobi, the government is trying to bring back criminal gangs that used to reign terror, against the people, and they are being brought to manage politics, disrupt meetings, cause mayhem, kill people, harm people, and this is being done by the state. Yet the state is the one that is supposed to protect the people. We are having a situation that is very laughable in this country, that our administration has sent policemen in Haiti to help the people of that country to fight criminal gangs. Yet the same government here in Kenya is funding and reviving criminal gangs to cause mayhem against the people of Kenya. It really doesn't make sense. Why you would want to send policemen to help a foreign country to deal with criminal gangs, yet in your own country you are spending public resources to revive a criminal gang and finance that gang to cause mayhem against its own citizens. I want to give a commitment that an administration that I will be part of will secure this country, will make sure that the people of Kenya are safe, and it will deal with the criminals ruthlessly in accordance with the law, so that people are able to do things, to go about their business without fear, so that people can be able to invest, so that people can be able to carry out businesses. As we speak today, there's a lot of fear. Parents do not know when they don't see their children. They don't know whether they have been abducted or not. There's a lot of fear in the country. a lot of anxiety, and that is not healthy for investment. It's not healthy for attracting foreign investors. It's not healthy for people to do business. I want to give a commitment that we would have a very responsible administration, and our security agencies would not perpetuate crime. They will not be involved in crime. They will be preventing crime. They will be securing the people of Kenya. They will be making sure there is rule of law and there is law and order. That is a commitment that I would like to give.
Finally, we come to the last question of the under security. What words do you have for the taxpayers who this government has denied security they have paid for, whereas the same government has taken officers who are providing excellent care in foreign lands such as Haiti? What word do you have?
That is what is a tragedy. That government is spending public resources to send policemen to Haiti to help foreigners secure their country. Yet in our own motherland, our security agencies are the ones perpetuating crime. They are the ones abducting people. They are the ones killing people. They are the ones escorting criminal gangs to disrupt meetings. It's very, very, very unfortunate. In fact, it's the lowest we can ever go as a country. And I really, really feel very sorry that I was part of that administration. I campaigned for this administration. I never imagined in my life that I would campaign and serve in a government that would turn against its own people, especially our children, the Gen Zs. You know, these young people are just creative and innovative. And I would like to tell our administration to know that nature abhors vacuum. Why are the Gen Zs becoming a headache to government in terms of raising issues? It's because the government killed the opposition. You know, Azimio coalition was absorbed into government, so they don't put the government into check. Again, institutions of accountability and oversight like Parliament and the Senate have been compromised. They have been compromised completely. So what happens is that nature abhors vacuum. Somebody has to keep the government in check, and it's fortunate for this country that our young people have taken up that role to put the government to task, to ask questions on behalf of the people of Kenya, because nature abhors vacuum. I want to tell this administration that even if you compromise all institutions of oversight, others will come up. That is the way nature operates, and it's as good. There's nothing you can do about it. Even if you succeed and you not by silencing the young people, some other people will come up to put the government in check. So I want to say that this is very, very unfortunate, and new administration would not go that low, would not allow, insecurity, and will not have state organs, perpetuate insecurity, because that should never happen in the midst of a civilized society.
Thank you so very much. And with that, I have come to the end of the first session. I want to give my sincere thank you to Your Excellence for the respect, the order, and how you have followed protocol. I am more than honored as your moderator here. I thank you, Daiga, for all the work and efforts that you have made to make sure that this session has gone very efficiently. Thank you, Marcy, for moderating in the best way possible. The hosts, I'm so glad for having me, and should you call again, I'll definitely come. You've showed me so much respect, and you've accepted me so very much in all ways. Thank you so much. And for all those people who gave those questions, especially my people in the diaspora, thank you very much. The questions have been answered, and I hope you're satisfied with what our Excellence has spoken about. These questions were from the mass, and by mass here, I mean general population. And there were questions that have been regarding generally in the air, where every person has been asking, okay, what is the stand on the Constitution? What is the stand on healthcare? What is the stand on this? Now that that session is over, we'll be able to up people and they can ask the general questions that they need in Section B. My name's CS Mumbi. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, CS. We appreciate His Excellency. I think I feel very honored because I have dealt with the politicians. I've not seen one who will be patient for almost 2 hours, and we make it look like 10 minutes. His Excellency, with your permission, we will now go to the second session, whereby you will be able to interact with Murima directly, because that is where we belong. That is where we are. But before we get there, I would ask our moderators, we had so many questions. If we have those questions, I'll allow a few questions to be asked. And this goes to Sonny if she's there. You read us a few questions that have not, on subjects that are probably have not been tackled. In the meantime, people are so excited. His Excellency, watu wanauliza na tutakula dinner lini na His Excellency huku diaspora. So that is a question that I would like answered.
Maybe before we get there was one issue that I wanted to spend 3 minutes to talk about, if you allow me.
Yes, please.
It's the issue of the IBC. This country, we had problems in 2007, post-election violence, and you know how ugly it was. And we had the Kriegler Commission that made recommendations on how to avoid such situations in future. And the Kriegler Commission recommended that for us to have a credible, to have IBC 3 years before the election, because the process is as important as the outcome. We are having a very, very dicey situation here in the country because there are no IBC commissioners, and the elections are 2.5 years from now. And there has been very deliberate efforts, but this IBC is not put in place. Cases have been put in court by proxies of the state to make sure we have no IBC. We are appealing to the international community to pile pressure into administration to agree that we need to constitute IBC. As it is already with boundary, the Constitution says that between 10 and 12 years, we should review our boundaries so that we create extra constituencies and we align other boundaries. Today, as we speak, we have no IBC to start preparing for the election. So mine is to appeal to the international community to put pressure on the government to constitute the IBC. And you have heard some very close politicians to the president making statements that are very worrisome. You heard a member of parliament saying that they can extend the president's tenure by another 24 years. You have had another member of parliament very close to the president say, even if the votes are not enough, they will manufacture them. These statements are very worrying. You saw another senator close to the president tried to bring a bill in the Senate to extend the president's tenure to 7 years. And when you look at all these things and the absence of the IBC, you see a red flag. So we want as a country, because this is a democratic country that carries out elections in every 5 years. And one of the ways to stabilize a country is to have very credible elections. So we are calling upon the constitution of the IBC, we are calling upon the international community to pile pressure on this administration to have the IBC constituted so that it can start preparing for the next general election, it can start rolling out voter registration. And on that note, we have also noted that there is a deliberate effort to deny young people IDs, because the Gen Zs are the ones that will determine the next governance structure in this country. And I think this administration is uncomfortable with the Gen Zs. And we have found there is a deliberate effort to make sure that young people are not being registered as Kenyans. We want to call upon the government to allow our young people to have IDs so that they get ready to prepare to register as voters, so that they can.
Okay, we're having some challenge with His Excellency. You're breaking a little bit.
Participate. I think I've concluded that about the IDs. We want our young people to take IDs and register as voters because they have an
some challenge with network.
Maybe the host, you can mute your microphone. The host, kindly, you can mute your microphone to give a smooth run to the Excellency. So host, mute your microphone so that the DP can speak. Thank you. Yeah. Muria Wakafiro, are you able to mute your mic kindly? There is the noises coming from your background. So if you're able to mute your mic.
Let me see, where am I? Oh.
So ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, we can continue putting questions on the comment section. We are put your questions on the comment section. Ensure they are as brief and direct as possible. I'm noting them down. Maybe I can ask once everything is done as we conclude. So kindly put up the questions on the comment section. Thank you very much. In the meantime, Kode is trying to mute his microphone and we're trying to get back His Excellency. So I really hope it will be smooth. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Your Excellency, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Don't worry about this interruption. That's the way we are living in this country. The National Intelligence Service interferes with everything. When we had our matter in the High Court during the impeachment process, they would interfere with the filing system, make sure that papers before they reach judges are with the National Intelligence Service. That is the new Kenya, and that is what is happening in this country. So we just carry on with the little challenges that we are having, but a new dawn is coming, and these things will happen as we go on.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And as the host tries to mute his microphone, I think he can read a few questions that I have written down from the comments section.
Yes.
About the merging of 42 parastatals, you can touch on that. And there's also this other issue of isolating Mount Kenya. We have a statement not once, not twice, that the other tribes are going to co-join and stand against Mount Kenya. Then there's also this of IBC you've touched, and also give Kenyans the way forward. Now that you are not in government and you are looking forward to coming up with something that is going to guide us on. Back to you.
I think the issue of merging parastatals is clear. My only worry and concern is not well thought out. It's something the president has just come up with. It needs to be done in a very meticulous manner and in a very organized manner so that people do not lose employment, so that what we'll be saving as a country are the operational expenses, but people do not lose their livelihoods. We would want a situation where people keep their jobs, but what we would be saving by merging parastatals is the operational expenses. Again, from where I sit, that is something that has just been announced and it has not been carefully worked out. And I can tell you it will be a mess because it's a one-man decision. and no committee has sat down to look at it and to decide what will happen. Don't worry about the interruptions that keep on coming on. In terms of isolating Mount Kenya, it is not possible. It is something that President William Ruto has tried to do since we elected him into office. The people of Mount Kenya region gave him 47% of their vote. And then he has turned against the mountain people, the attacking of people from this region, from the civil service, from the public sector. And when you heard that the people of Mount Kenya,
why do we have?
It is not the member of parliament who is speaking. That is a script by President William Ruto. And even all these things you see, he is saying he's bringing the people of Kenya together. He is trying to bring the people of Kenya together against the mountain. But I want to assure you it will not work. The people of Kenya have a lot of respect for the people of the mountain. And I want to tell you, the vote that we gave President William Ruto in 2022 made the people of Mount Kenya be respected by other communities. And as we speak today, all other communities want to work with us. People of Western want to work with us. The people of Lower Eastern want to work with us. The people of Coast want to work with us. That plan by the president to isolate the mountain will not work. And I am reaching out to everybody, and they are also reaching out to me and our leaders. And I want to assure the people of the mountain, it is not possible for them to be isolated because other Kenyans have no problem with them. It's only President William Ruto who has a problem with the people of Mount Kenya, despite having voted for him to a man. And we are in very serious consultations with the rest of Kenyans and will work together as one united country. And it is not possible. And I would have expected, the president has been talking about uniting the country. In his meeting, a member of parliament says that Mount Kenya will be isolated, and then the president is quiet. He did not even say anything about it. Why he didn't say anything about it is because he is the architect of that plan, and he's the one who had told that member of parliament to threaten the people of Mount Kenya. What the president is trying to do is to sell us fear, and to make the people of the Mount Kenya feel that if they don't follow him blindly, they will be isolated. I want to say the people of Mount Kenya region cannot buy fear from anybody. They are people who are very resilient. They are people who are very courageous. They will soldier on, will unify our region, and will work with other regions for the benefit of the unity of the country. So let nobody be worried about isolation. It is not possible. And I promise the president, no matter what he tries to do to isolate the people of Mount Kenya from the rest of the country, it will not work. He has tried to divide the people of Mount Kenya, east and west, and I told him no. He tried to divide the people of Mount Kenya into counties. I told him no. And I can assure you, the people of this region know that he wanted to divide them and they cannot agree. And they will stay united. And once we are united, we'll join other regions to have one united Kenya, a strong country that everybody feels safe to live in.
Thank you. The host, can you kindly mute your microphone? Is it possible? Because there is...
Unfortunately, it is not possible from this end. I'm trying to...
It's okay.
I can only disconnect the whole life. I have nothing to do with it.
Okay, let's give His Excellency the time. We'll just work with that. I think it is interference, so I'm trying as much as we can to have very limited interference. So maybe we can continue with that, Your Excellency. You are breaking maybe for a few seconds, but it's okay. We are hearing, we're getting the point. Thank you very much. You can continue. Currently, you're good. Thank you.
I trust I've been hard on the issue of isolating Mount Kenya. I've said it's not possible. It's a scheme by President William Ruto, and it will not happen. He has tried to divide the mountain. We will not allow him. He has tried to divide Mount Kenya and East. We will not allow him. He has tried to divide the mountain into counties. We will not allow him. The mountain is solid, is united, and cannot agree to be divided by President William Ruto. Other communities want to work with us, and we are going to work with them, and we shall have one strong Kenya that is good for all of us.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now, maybe I would love to pass a question from our side. And mine is something that Mercy had asked on, but I would like maybe kuifafanua. And this is on the way forward. Your Excellency, you had hinted late last year that by January this year or the end of January, you will give us a way forward in terms of politically. Most of us were in the United Democratic Alliance Party. Some of us were in the Jubilee Party. We are all stranded. We are all scattered all over. And we are really looking forward. We have seen so many meetings, even in Wamunyoro village. We are really anxious. So maybe the Deputy President, you can talk to the people of TikTok on maybe what is the way forward. Or are we going to have a new vehicle? And being an aspirant in the coming election of an MCA, maybe I would ask this: will all aspirants get, equal chances to fight? Will it be a democratic process? Will you get equal chances, especially the young people, whereby we have seen systems eating up aspirants for the highest bidders and probably for people who are not even qualified? Your Excellency, are you giving us a new vehicle, and are you assuring us that under you and under your vehicle, we will be able to have free, fair representation and election even in the party primaries? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. After what happened last year, I did give a commitment to our people that I'll consult extensively with our people, with our church leaders, with our business people, with our professionals, elected leaders, opinion shapers, the Gen Zs, and everybody, including ordinary people, hawkers, matatu drivers, market traders, to listen to their views. I really believe in people-centered decision-making process. I cannot, as Rigathi Gachagua, give any political direction to our region or to the country, because I cannot. I must listen to the people. Is that thousands of people are trooping here day and night. I post a few meetings of those who want to be known that they have come to see me. I have many other people, church leaders who don't want to be seen, professionals who don't want to be seen, business people who think if they are seen with me, the government will interfere with their businesses. They are talking to me quietly, and I've received all manner of views from across the country. And I continue with that exercise. I am not yet complete. I had believed that by end of 31st of January, I'll have a good report to give back to the people. And that is looking quite challenging because of the amount of views that are coming. There are so many people who want to tell me what they think we should do and what is our direction going forward. So I am trying to condense those views. Others are sending on email, others are sending WhatsApp messages, others are text messages. And I continue having very extensive consultations. And I hope that by the end of the month, I'll have something to give back to the people. If I am not ready, I'll ask for a little bit more time. I'm hoping I'll be ready by the end of the month so that I can be able to tell the people what people have told me. I have no view of my own. I am a people-centered leader. I don't make any decisions on my own. I listen to the people, and I have tremendous respect to opinions by the people and what the people think and what they feel. So that is what I am working on. Of course, I'll be saying about a vehicle, but that has come out very clearly in the preliminary proposals and opinions that have been presented to me. Many people feel that they are through with UDA and they want nothing to do with UDA and they want a new party. Many people feel that it was a very great mistake for us to join President William Ruto without our own party, and they feel we made a very serious mistake, and they feel that we need our own party, that we need to negotiate with other stakeholders going forward. Those are views that I continue collecting. And again, I want to confirm for the avoidance of doubt. The people who come to see me in Wamunyoro and they want various positions, My meeting with them does not in any way amount to an endorsement. I'm not endorsing anybody for any seat. And I cannot pretend that I can do that because it is the people who decide who their leaders are. I am a strong believer in the slogan by Kenneth Matiba, let the people decide. I am not endorsing anybody. All those people who are coming to see me are bringing me their views. Others probably want to be seen with me and with a photograph. Probably they think it can improve their political fortunes. And there's nothing wrong with that. The beauty is that even those who want to oppose them, my doors are open. I've opened my doors to everybody who wants to come and be seen with me, have a photograph with me, have a discussion with me. So I want to assure my friend, you want to run as an MCA, in whatever outfit we shall be, the people will decide. Rigathi Gachagua has only one vote. Even the one of Pastor Dorcas, he cannot influence. He would have to talk to her if he wants her to move in a certain direction and persuade her. He cannot decide for anybody on who will be their leader, who will be their governor, who will be their MP, who will be their senator, who will be their MP. The people will decide. And I am a strong believer in the slogan by Kenneth Matiba, let the people decide. And that is what should happen in a democracy where everybody is given a chance to persuade the people that you are a good leader. So I want to beg you to hold your horses, allow me to continue with the consultations. They are causing a lot of jitters. You can hear everybody now is just abusing me in Western Kenya. The president and his team went there for a development tour, and Rigathi Gachagua has become the center of that tour. Instead of discussing roads, they are discussing Rigathi Gachagua. Instead of discussing water, they are discussing Rigathi Gachagua. Instead of discussing sugarcane farming, they are discussing Rigathi Gachagua. And I want to tell the people of Western Kenya to be very, very careful to learn from us. The president was here for 5 years. He would spend 6 days here, he would spend 7 days here, and that's the way he convinced us to vote for him. So you be very careful. You can learn from us. You are just being wooed the way he wooed us. Now he doesn't come here because we know him. You know, he cannot repeat the same thing again because he was here. He was here in church every Sunday. He was in every village. He knew every road by name. Now he's disappeared because the people of here have known him. They have known that all those things he told us were not true. They were lies. And he cheated us and he conned us. So I want to tell the people of Western Kenya to be careful. We have seen that script before. What is happening is what happened to Mount Kenya region. So he is 6 days, 7 days in Western, promising this, promising that. Nothing will come out of it. And I would like to ask the president and those in Western Kenya, please deal with the issues in Western Kenya. There is a road infrastructure that is very wanting. There's no water. There are no drugs. People have problems. The sugarcane factories need to be sorted out. Rigathi Gachagua is not the solution of the problems in Western Kenya. A whole president and the whole brigade goes to a whole region. Instead of discussing development, they are just discussing Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is not a road in Busia. He is not a water pan in Vihiga. He is not a hospital in Luanda. How come you have trivialized a whole tour of a region to one person? You are just discussing a person instead of discussing the issues that are a challenge to the people of that area. And also it's good to respect the people. When you talk about corruption, the people of this country, including our grade 4 child, knows who is corrupt. You don't even to ask them who is corrupt in this country. When you talk about incompetence, the people of Kenya know who is incompetent. That is where we are as a country. That is sheer incompetence. If you ask people in 2 years what has happened in this country, that is sheer incompetence. So when you talk about people who are corrupt, people who are incompetent, just take the mirror, look at yourself, because the people of Kenya know better. They know exactly where we are. People are very intelligent. You know, it's the way we used to have in Nairobi, a pickpocket would snatch a bag from somebody and then would point to the same person and say, thief, thief, thief. And then the people would run against that thief. But people are very intelligent today. When you speak to people in Western Kenya, in Kenya, they know. About corruption, they know. About Adani, they know. About the 104 billion program for SHA, they know who is behind it. about the buying of
Your Excellency, we've lost you.
and still for the help. Hear me now?
Yes, now you're back.
So I
Yes,
was
we
just
can.
saying, Asante Sana, next question.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Excellency, sir. And I would like to say something here. In the comment section, I can see people are asking about SHA. That one we had discussed earlier. You've joined now. Your Excellency, our Mr. Rigathi Gachagua had already answered that. I have 3 questions here. Are you safe? How is your security, Your Excellency? The other question is, appointing so many CS from Mount Kenya, is that a way of dividing Mount Kenya? And the third question is about social media. Kenyans are using social media so much to express their grievances, but we are being silenced. Abduction, our pages being hacked. What do you think should be done? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am safe in God's hands, and I am good, and God has taken care of me, because at the end of it all, it's God who protect us. My security was withdrawn. I am not bothered, and criminal gangs have been sent to attack me. You know, in the Muru in November, criminal gangs with police escort were sent to assassinate me, and they wanted to kill me, but God saved my life, and I want to thank the people of Bibirioni and the young people who protected me, that they were not able to do so. On the 28th of December in Shamata, a policeman in uniform was sent to disrupt our meeting, and he threw a tear gas canister at me. Again, the people defended us, and we were fine. Last weekend, members of a criminal gang were sent to attack my wife in a prayer meeting in Kamukuji grounds in Nyeri. Again, God took care of her, and she was safe. We have seen the revival of a criminal gang here in central Kenya by government, by the president, to try to disrupt my meetings, to intimidate me, to attack me wherever I go. But the young people in this region and other places in the country have taken care of my security, and they do take care of me. But above all, we trust in God to take care of us. And we want to say that trying to intimidate me and disrupt my meetings so that I don't go for meetings will not work. Everybody in this country knows I'm not a coward. I am not easily intimidated. We'll continue going for our meetings, and we want to ask our people to continue offering security to our meetings wherever we go, so that those who have been sent to attack us. Appointing CSS from Mount Kenya is a good thing, there's no problem. But if the intention is to win the Mount Kenya back, it's an exercise in futility. I did tell President William Ruto along the way that the people of Mount Kenya hate deception and betrayal. And I told him that the people of Mount Kenya hate betrayal, and he himself is a beneficiary of the people's distaste for betrayal. When the people of Mount Kenya perceived like he was betrayed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, they decided to support him, to show their distaste for betrayal. And I did tell him many times that if he betrays the people of the Mount Kenya region, they'll never forgive him. And I told him betrayal in Mount Kenya region is unacceptable, is unforgivable, is an abomination, it is a taboo. And once it has occurred, there is no remedy. Even if he appoints the whole cabinet from Mount Kenya, nothing will change. Even if he was able to revive Dedan Kimathi, Mwai Kibaki, Jomo Kenyatta, and appoint them to his cabinet, nothing will change in the Mount Kenya region. Even if he was to revive Gikoyo and Mumbi and the 9 daughters, make Gikoyo his deputy president, make Mumbi his prime cabinet secretary, make the 9 daughters, Washera, Waithera, Wanjiru, Wambui, and all as cabinet secretaries, nothing would change. The mountain is gone and gone forever, because the mountain hates betrayal and hates deception. Those are 2 things that the people of the mountain hate. So no amount of appointing anybody in this region will change anything. The people are through with President William Ruto, because he betrayed the region and he deceived the region. And there is no remedy. That is a matter that is a closed chapter. And I start to be corrected, and in the fullness of time, he'll come to know. And that is why you find he's getting very irritated that when he sends condolence messages in a funeral, people refuse to listen to them because they are through with him. And you know, in our community, a funeral is a very solemn moment. In many times, even those who are perceived to have killed the person who is being buried, if you attend that funeral, people still allow you to say something, and they never ask you. So if you find people of this region have refused to accept your condolence messages, they are through with you forever. And it is unnecessary to harass Justin Bieber and Muturi. They are harassing Justin Bieber and Muturi and saying that he's the one who organized, who incited people to refuse to listen to the president's condolence message. That is not true. And Bieber and Muturi was really abused by the president. He wrote him very offensive messages at night, accusing him of having incited people to refuse to listen to his condolence message. That is very, very unfair to Justin Bieber and Muturi. It is the people of Mount Kenya region who refused. And they'll continue refusing because the president betrayed them and deceived them. And as I have said, once you do those two things, there's no remedy. It is over. And I had warned him that that is what will happen, but he chose not to listen. In terms of social media is a revolution and is a real thing. And we are very happy about social media. You know, long time ago when we had KBC, you would be able to censor news and only let people know what you want them to know. And that is how the people of this country were governed. Today, even if you bribe the mainstream media not to broadcast what Rigathi Gachagua has said, the social media will do it. In fact, by the time we get to the evening news, people through social media already know what has taken place. So we really want to affirm TikTok, the X Space, the Facebook, and I want to encourage our young people to continue using the social media as a tool of change, as an oversight mechanism for this administration. Our young people, we really want to salute you. And let nobody call you criminals. And let nobody tell us as parents that we have brought up our children badly. We haven't. We have brought up our children very well. That is why they are keeping the government in check, because they are intelligent young people. They are creative people. But I want to tell my children, agencies, I love you so much and I have tremendous respect for you and your capacity to bring transformative change into this country. But I want to plead with you that what you are doing on the online space is not enough. You have a date with destiny. It is our young people who will sort out this country. It is our young people who will create the right leadership in this country. I want to tell our young people, much as we appreciate your contribution so far and what you have done for us, you have so much to do. You must take IDs and register as voters and turn out to vote. Your vote is what will count in this country. It is the Gen Z and the millennials who will determine the next leadership of this country. I want to affirm that you have done very well. I want to say congratulations. I want to thank you for your patriotism, the love for your country and for your motherland. But you haven't achieved what must be done. Please take your IDs, register as voters, and come out and vote and take part in the decision-making process of this country. Take a very important role in determining the next leadership of this country. Our young people, this country is in your hands. We depend on you. I really plead with you. Please don't just stay behind the smartphone. Go a little bit further. Register as a Kenyan, have an ID, and register as a voter. And when the D-Day comes, by 3 a.m., be on the queue and vote. And guide your parents on how to vote. You are more knowledgeable than we are. You have better perspective of what is happening in the world. You know much more than we do. You have more exposure. Through their own, so much
Your Excellency, we lost you. We lost you a few seconds ago. So maybe we
line
can.
space. Please, I was just telling the Gen Zs and the millennials that they have a date with destiny. They cannot just work on the smartphone. They have done so far well on creating awareness, but they need to do a little bit more. They must register. They must have an ID. They must register as voters. They must come out to vote. They are the ones who will determine the next leadership of this country.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, the People's Deputy President. We appreciate you so much, and all very excited. And with your permission, I have a few questions being asked here. It's like our people feel the work you have done today is wonderful, is great engagement, and people are so excited with today's engagement. One question that is coming around is, are we likely to be able to host you in the next few days? Because it's like, with your permission, we may not want to diversify from the language that we're speaking today, and probably the next sitting we could be able to address. I have seen, including my own mother here, amekuwa akiuliza reality hiyo yake mind. So I would with your permission, if we would be around.
I think I agree with you. Let us. I think I agree with you or Kerema people. Then we can speak our language and speak our issues. I think so. Let us not mix the two today, because we have spoken to the country, and I can see my time is now running out for the next meeting. I think we have done very well. We have spoken to the country. I would be very happy if you create another forum for us to talk to our Murima people in our own language, our own issues. Not that we talk against anybody else. We talk our issues that are specific to us, that are unique to us as a people. And we have never talked against anybody, and nobody should ever feel uncomfortable when we speak our language. We never talk against anybody else. We just talk about ourselves, because every community has its own unique issues, and there are issues that are very specific to themselves. So if you agree, I request that we'll create another forum for the Mulima people, and then we can have our own discussion.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. I would wish to, with your permission, we have so many people on Facebook, YouTube. They are all like, we are so excited with what is happening today. I will pass this word around, and with the inclusion of all the stakeholders, who I believe are our voters and our friends who are both out in the diaspora and in the country, we are going to set a meeting probably in the next 5 days, with your permission. And with this, I would like to say something that really touches me. Whenever I see a reader like Honorable Kenneth Matiba, when Matiba was the CS for transport and the country was going down, he felt it was time to give up the comfort of being a cabinet secretary. Matiba had everything that anybody would have yearned for. Gachagua has everything that any one of us would yearn for. But when we say, I put my country first, we know the route that Matiba traveled. Our people, our young men and women, have honestly said, we are with you. They are with you. They will be with you. And my closing remark for tonight is, men do not make history. They are made by men. Great men are the specters of history. Abraham Lincoln, like I always say, that great man said, I may not be alive to see our people get free of slavery, but I'll do everything I can including signing the proclamation. He said, I'll do this for my people. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, we will tell you this. We are behind you. We are with you. Do whatever is possible. Do what is necessary. And the millions of Kenyans who are yearning for the changes, our young men and women, 70% of the population in Kenya are the Githaigas, the Gen Zs. Can we support these young people? Can we count on these young people to support you in the journey that we are traveling? The next time we come here, which might be very soon, we want to hear whom our partners are in this political journey. We know you've given so much. We know if you wanted to resign, you would have resigned and you'd be having your pecs and you'd be enjoying your pecs down there. Our greetings to Mama Boys, Mwambie Ninambue anapendwa sana, and the people in the diaspora are like, we still want to have a date with you. But in the next 5 days, communication will come to you when we'll be sitting. Until then, we say, like the great President Mwai Kibaki, when the Times in 1973 said the best president we'll never have in Kenya was Mwai Kibaki, and that still came to pass. He became the president after almost 30 years. The greatest president that we will have, going by the way we are, will be His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. Until the next time that we meet, you may wish our people a good evening. Thank you very much, His Excellency. You can leave at your own pressure after
wishing us. Good people. Thank you very much, good people, for listening to me for that interaction. I wish you a good evening and take care of yourselves and work hard. And for those in the diaspora, remember us back here at home. And we love you. And I look forward to further engagement. Again, this is our country. We have no other country. We have to really take time to think about our people, to think about this country, and working together we'll succeed. Thank you very much and good evening.
Asante sana, Your Excellency. Asante sana, everybody. Thank you for your host very much. Thank you for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our session. So whoever we had is the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. He's also the People's Deputy President. It was such an interactive session, and it is good that we've gotten so much insights. In fact, and indeed, we have a date with our destiny, and he has also challenged us and given us a challenge that this requires the efforts of each and every one of us. Young people, we continue injecting where necessary. We continue giving positive criticism where necessary. This country is ours. The future belongs to us. We are going to claim every bit of it for the best of ourselves and for the best of our children in future. Kuria Wakafiro, I would